What's up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's time for a recap of what went down on this week's episode of Kail's Coffee Convos Podcast. Heads up, if you're going to be listening to it, like the first 20 minutes are a little bit of a wash. So the real juicy stuff that Kail got into on the podcast was Tiger King related. So it's coming out in the news that Joe Exotic from the Tiger King wrote Kim Kardashian asking her to help him get a presidential pardon. And so Lindsay brings it up on the podcast. The two of them discuss it, and then Kail compares herself to Joe Exotic, saying, listen, you know what, I get it. Like when you're on TV or you're doing all these things like that, like in the public eye, people forget that you are a real person. And this is in reference to a specific part of the letter where Joe Exotic tells Kim, you know, like there's so many people who are dressing up as me for Halloween or who are doing this, like making profit off of what happened, doing interviews and stuff. But here I am left to sit alone in jail as my mother passed away. I miss that. My father's dying. My husband, I miss him. People forget that I am a real life person. And Kail says that that was super relatable to her. And then the conversation shifts into Kail complaining about the fact that she hasn't been cast to appear on Dancing with the Stars. And I just did a little bit of a double take because I listened to this while I do my makeup to prepare for like the rest of my videos and stuff. And I was like, what? Like, she's like, you know what? Like, you know, for instance, let's talk about Carol Baskins. Like, she's getting all this like publicity off of the documentary. She's doing Dancing with the Stars. Like, we ever discover whether or not she killed her husband? A woman who may or may not have killed her husband is able to go on Dancing with the Stars, but Leah and I have never been able to. And I was like, wait a second. Did you and Leah try to get onto Dancing with the Stars and then you were rejected? Or are you sitting there thinking that Dancing with the Stars is going to come and reach out to you without any work of your publicist? I really don't know, but I did think it was curious that she name drops only Leah as well. I'm like, is it because this is the only person in her franchise that she currently talks to outside of Chelsea who would be willing to do something like that? Or did the two of them actually try to make something like this happen? Remember, there was a time when Kail was trying to campaign for some kind of a spin-off show for her and Leah. Like, I sometimes lose track of all the spin-off shows this girl has wanted. Remember, she wanted a Kail and the Chaos for her and her kids. Then people were like really like standing her friendship with Leah, and she was like, oh, like we should get a spin-off or whatever. So was this during that era that she was trying to get on Dancing with the Stars, or am I reaching a little bit? I don't know, but I did think it was a very curious comment. And then she kind of doubles down on the comment, but like expounds on it outside of just her and Leah. She says, you know what? It is kind of crazy that all of these people from all of these different reality shows are able to get onto Dancing with the Stars, but you know, people from my franchise can't. I thought that was a very curious comment. And you know what? Maybe after this, Dancing with the Stars will pay attention to Kail and offer her a spot, and we'll see how she does on that show. I've never known her to be a dancer. Maybe she is, but I don't know. Anyway, the last kind of interesting tidbit that she dropped was that she hasn't yet been able to see her doctor about the medical issue that she talked about, the potential medical issue that she talked about in last week's episode. Kail said that she has been having very heavy bleeding to the point where she's regularly bleeding through her clothes during the days and during the nights whenever she's on her period. I've got more info on that in my channel member section. The join button is down below. But as far as the doctor's appointment that she was supposed to have set up, no, she did not find the time to do that, and so she is going to check into it a little bit later and then give us an update whenever she has one for us. Guys, how do you feel about Kail whining about not being able to appear on Dancing with the Stars? Would she even perform all that well on the show? Make sure to let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.